Today, I'm going to give you a tour of one of the most underrated sedans of the mid-2000s. Let me show you what I found on Craigslist. Today, we're taking a look at a 2007 Ford 500 SEL. This one is listed for sale in the DC suburbs out in Virginia. It's listed at $2,900 and it has about 153,000 miles on the odometer. You might already be familiar with the 500, but if not, I'm going to give you a quick history of the car. So Ford started making the Taurus in the late 80s, and the Taurus ran all the way through 2004, at which point it was redesigned and rebranded as the 500. Why Ford abandoned the Taurus name, no one knows, but the 500 is what came out in 2005, and it ran for only a couple of model years before it was redesigned and called the Taurus once more. The 500 was actually a pretty interesting car. It had conservative styling, which didn't go over so well with major motoring publications, but it looked very similar to Audis and Volkswagens of the era, including the A6 and the Passat. This car featured a V6 engine that made about 203 horsepower when new. I actually owned one of these. My very first car was a 2005 500 SEL with all-wheel drive, and I can tell you that the acceleration was definitely not quick, but stopped short of glacial. The V6 was definitely underpowered for this size car, and the continuously variable transmission, or CVT, was just a bad pairing. So acceleration was slow, but this was a great car. Compared to some competitors of the era, including the Camry and the Accord, the Ford 500 had much more interior space, was much more open, and the trunk was exceptionally large. You could put at least 4 golf bags in the back. So with that, let's check out this particular 500, again listed for sale in the DC area. It's trimmed in the classic Ford blue. It has a gray interior, and even though this is an SEL, which is the mid-range model this particular model is equipped with the larger chrome wheels, which came standard on the limited model. Also important to note, this car does not have all-wheel drive, which some 500s did. But a couple of things to notice right off the bat. The car seems to be in good shape. The chrome is looking nice. The paint seems to be in good condition. And this Ford, like so many, comes with the Ford keypad. This only comes in Fords. It came on a couple of Nissan Maximas in the early 90s. But this is essential Ford equipment. Basically, what it allows you to do is type in an individual code, it's a 5-digit code, and unlock the car. So you can lock your keys in the vehicle and not worry. You can leave your keys at home and be able to get into the vehicle, including access the trunk. So just a very convenient feature that's only available on Fords. I wish that every automaker would include this on their vehicles. Now let's continue through the pictures here. So taking a look around the car, you can see a couple of dents and dings, but that's to be expected for a car that's almost 15 years old. The interior looks cleaner than the exterior, again trimmed in gray with the nice supple leather, the fake burled walnut trim, which is very nice, and dual zone climate control, which is handy for summer days. If you're a little bit cooler or warmer than your passenger, you can adjust accordingly. Notice in this picture that there's a little bit of wear here on the driver's seat in the leather. That is not great, but it's fairly typical of Fords at this era. The interiors are not known for being exceptionally high quality, but the leather is soft and probably won't deteriorate too much more with a little bit of care. So at $2,900, I think that this is a fair price for a Ford 500. These are very good cars. They're reliable. They last forever if you treat them well. My car was just a fantastic addition to my garage. It served very reliably for 150,000 miles before it was totaled in an accident. But I would have kept the car forever. So I do recommend this car. I think there's a little bit of room for negotiation here because at the end of the day, it is high mileage. It is a Ford. It will probably need some work done to it in the future. And the seller notes in the listing that the tires are new, but a lot of the other equipment is just stock from the factory. So anticipate putting a couple of dollars into this car if you were to buy it. But at $2,900, you are getting a very reliable Ford product. Let me know what you think in the comments.